They're very spontaneous. Of course, they not always know the repertoire yet, but the attention and readiness to play as well as possible is always there. So I enjoy it very much. I feel very comfortable.
I think it's quite amazing the musicality that he portrays.
The way of rehearsals, the way of rehearsing rather, is different because, of course, kids don't know it so as well as the professional orchestra. With the professional orchestra, you do very little, say a little bit here and there, so they know what you're doing. But here you have to rehearse sometimes much more because they're not as well prepared as a professional orchestra. It's normal. Yesterday we started a little bit not terribly positively, and the second time I played the whole symphony was terrific, very quick.
Sometimes, because we're not a professional group and you know, we're of a very high standard, each one individually, but we don't work together very often. We come together for specific projects, so it's a difficult task in terms of we all need to get to know each other's playing very quickly, and then we also need to get to know a certain conductor's particular style, just how they work, what their tempos are. So it's a lot of information to process in a very short space of time. So things can sometimes go slightly askew, but by the end of the rehearsal I think everyone was quite pleased with how things were going.
After the first 3 hours, it was a bit of a shock, but then by the evening rehearsal, I think it came together really well and everyone understood what he wanted from the music and from the particular moments, so which was really enjoyable actually.
Rachmaninov means a lot to me. Of course, I'm Russian, and so it's sort of part of my psyche, I suppose, from the very early childhood. I'm aware of the fact that Rachmaninov cannot be considered all over the world like one of the most important composers, but I think his inner self and the ability to express himself very sincerely, openly, and professionally on a very high level is very important to me. And you know what's interesting? That Rachmaninov is not very popular in Germany. And I remember when I was with the Deutsche Symphony Orchestra for about 8 or 9 years, I never did Rachmaninov because I thought I better not. And then in one of my last years, I remember we were playing somewhere outside of Berlin, and they said, could you do some Russian music? I said, why don't I do Rachmaninov, Isle of the Dead? So I rehearsed with the orchestra, and after the first rehearsal, in the break, they all came to me, what a marvelous piece, why haven't we played it before? I was so grateful, gratified, you know. So I'm very often upset and offended even when the attitude to Rachmaninov looks like, oh, it's just sort of easy music. It's not easy actually, it's very intense and very strongly felt. But I have to be objective. Just because I'm Russian, I'm not saying it's the greatest music ever composed, but it is very close to it, I think. Bravo, bravo, I loved it. Bravo.